my. This is a podcast that went all over the place in such a good way. And it all started with a question of, what do you do? And I say I'm a hypnotist, and people say, oh, is that about stopping smoking or weight loss? And then I go, oh, they ask, does it work? And but then we get into the real meat of the thing, of how to change, what you can do to change, what can you change? And is there anything you can't change? That's got to interest you. It's got to be important to you, because we've all got things we want to change. So please listen after this. Hey, this is the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, where we use hypnosis. Yeah, hypnosis. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Don't worry what it is. It's just a mass of processes that we're going to get you to change. Change to let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, and create massive supreme inner confidence. But that's confidence in your competence and competence in your confidence, which means you can do anything and be safe, to enjoy the world as it should be, with you at the helm, creating the life that you want. That's what this podcast is about. You, and being the best you could be, singing from your real voice, aligned with your mission, aligned with your passions. That's what it's about. So if you're interested in letting go of anxiety, if you're interested in letting go of fear, guilt, all those blooming syndromes, imposter syndromes, and every little bit of the mind which is negative, then have a listen here, because we've got some wonderful processes and lots of good conversations between you and me to get us both thinking in such wonderful ways. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just take the chance to have a listen.
Warning.
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 You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, how you doing today? How you doing? I've got this thing about what it's called. I don't know if I've titled this "What Do You Do," but it's also what can you do, or can you do that with it? What are you talking about? And I'm talking about a little bit about hypnosis, NLP, and things like that. And just in this world of personal development, even now, people don't know what hypnosis can be used for, or the uses of hypnosis, or what can be achieved with hypnosis, or what can be achieved with NLP. Oh, that manipulating thing. No, it isn't. Timeline therapy. And I know I've done, a long time ago, I did, and I can't find them, but I did one way back, when was it? April 2020. Blimey. #168. Why I love hypnosis so much. I say that again. #168. Why I love hypnosis so much. And I also did, I think, 3 FMQs all about hypnosis, timeline therapy, NLP, and it was like my mistress or my lover and all that stuff. But search those out. But where am I going with this, Cluffy? For Christ's sake, get on. And I might swear in this, by the way, because I read my notes again and I swore on my notes, if you can believe that. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. But where are you going to start? I want to start with a little story, a sort of story, and it happens to me so many times. And I never really push what I do. I never say to people what I do, what's my profession. I might say in a past life, I used to be in the building industry. I used to be a legal sort of guy and all that stuff. But when it comes to hypnosis, I tend to keep it quite quiet. I don't know why. Not embarrassed about it. I think sometimes I might just throw a little seed out there because I want people to want to do the work with me. What happens is you might be, you meet someone for the first time. You're I don't go to many parties. I ain't got many friends, really. I have, but the type of friends I've got don't have many parties. But when I meet new people, you get round the chit chat and it's like, what do you do? What do you do? So I love to say, to start off with, and normally it's I'm a hypnotist. And then I actually change that because that's not me. It's what I do. So I say, I do being a hypnotist, which is really weird, and a hypnotherapist. And you see, there is a difference, by the way, because you can be a hypnotherapist. You can be a bloody good hypnotist and be absolutely useless at hypnotherapy. Because if you think what a hypnotist is, it's someone who puts people into supposedly a hypnosis trance, if there's such a thing. Ask every hypnotist what hypnosis is. They'll give you a different definition. I don't even got one because I don't understand it myself. I just know it bloody works. But it works by putting people into that wonderful state of, inverted commas, hypnosis, and do some wonderful processes that are right for that person and that root cause. That's the hypnotherapy side of it, and get the results they want. So you can also be a good hypnotherapist with not being a very good hypnotist. You get someone who's bloody good at both, boom, you're going to get it. And they always go, and this is where my little bit of swearing comes in. It's like, oh, I see. They go, oh yeah, that's for stopping smoking, isn't it? And weight loss. And inside I go, FFS. I'll say it once and then it'll be FFS. I go in my little voice inside, a little Homer type voice goes, for fuck's sake. But then I have to pull myself back because I'm reminded they don't know. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you think, well, you should know better than that. Although we should all over ourselves, because we got 50 plus hypnosis and NLP tracks, which are free in a different place. So therefore, I don't do 50 hypnosis tracks on stopping smoking or weight loss. In fact, I haven't got one of either of those. So there's 50 odd tracks of everything other than stopping smoking and weight loss. So the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple, really. I wanted you to have them all in one place, so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable, so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you, it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals. And therefore, I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis. So I know they don't know, and then the question will come, which blows my mind, because they'll say, how long you been doing it? And I'll go, well, about 20 odd years. Well, 23 years, actually. 22, 23 years. Oh, all right. Does it work then? Oh, and I go inside again, FFS. Well, I say the words out loud, but I'm not going to keep saying it. And then again, I know and remind myself they don't know. So my FFS is all about the missing information, I guess. Because if you think about it, if I've been, just even the question to that answer I gave, been doing this for 22 plus years, what type of person would I be if I was doing something that didn't work for 22 years? But they don't know. And it's a natural off-the-cuff question that does it work? Because people don't know whether it works or not. Because they think it's for stopping smoking and weight loss. And then they might ask a question. And this happens even when I have people in for initial consultation. The question might be, well, okay, well, can anyone be hypnotized? And I say, generally, there's only two people I can't hypnotize. Or 2 types of people I can't hypnotize. The first, who don't want to. And they're the ones I'll get anyway because they believe it and they just don't want. They're the ones who just don't want to do it, or they're frightened of something and they need that hypnosis to take away the fear, maybe. But at the time, I wouldn't push it because if they don't want to, they don't want to. So I can't hypnotize them really because I would stop myself doing it because they don't want to. And the other ones are dead because they can't hear, see, or do anything about it. Always makes me laugh. I see someone try to hypnotize. No, we won't go there. And the other ones sort of are people who are deaf. Because I couldn't hypnotize them because I don't know sign language. But if I did, I bet there'd be a way there too. So there's only really one person, one type of person I can't hypnotize. They're the people who are dead. Because if you think about it, if people come for hypnotherapy, well, they want to be hypnotized. They know they're going to be hypnotized. And even then I tell them, you might not be hypnotized because we might just do NLP or a process that doesn't require you to be hypnotized and float in inverted commas and all that stuff. I don't know where I'm going with this, but we'll carry on. But let's go back to the very beginning, that one question, or that statement, oh yeah, that's for stopping smoking and weight loss, isn't it? And the answer really is, yes, of course it is. Because I work with people to stop smoking in one session. I help people to lose weight. Or, better still, not lose weight, because when you lose something, you tend to look for it and find it. So it's to change their health, change their weight to be the way they want to be. But what else? Basically, the answer is anything else, everything else. Because even though, well, we'll go through them one at a time, maybe. If there's anything you want to change, say that's a negative to a positive, so you've got anxiety to, say, being comfortable, being calm, being unconfident to competently confident, being depressed to, well, I don't know what the opposite to depressed is, because I'm not depressed. But there'll be and if you think about these, I'm not being evasive, each person has their own counter, as it were, how they'd like to be. So people are sad. How do they want to be? Sad people don't necessarily want to be happy all the time. Sometimes they think they do, but they want to be able to be happy. They want to be able to enjoy life, maybe. Maybe there's people who are jealous and they want to have a great relationship. So it's not a case of they want to stop being jealous, but the answer to that is they want to change it into being able to relate to people in a wonderful way, have that connection. So that's why I think you can change anything, because you can. And I know people say, well, there's got to be something you can't change. And I'm sure there is. But until I find that, there isn't, okay? And you're not changing my belief, because my belief is that you can change anything. And why? Why? How? How can you change? Well, I do the hows, but why do I believe that? That's better. Because if you ask me a question, why I believe that, you're going to get my belief. And my belief is everything you have an emotion about is basically a behavior. So if you have anxiety, you behave anxiously and you want to be able to behave comfortably, calmly, or whatever. If you're unconfident, you have behaviors and emotions that express being unconfident. I love that word, unconfident. I don't think it's a word. I know it comes up as spell check. It doesn't come up as a word. But to be able to be competent, to be able to be confident, they have beliefs and emotions and behaviors. To me, an emotion is a behavior. It's the way you feel, and that's a behavior. Everything, depression, change that. People behave depressed. You can see people walking down and they got their head down, their shoulders down. They are not springing and skipping down the road. That's just behaviors. But those behaviors have an emotion, a feeling, and a way of seeing the world inside. So there's a thing called in NLP, the NLP model of communication, where your internal representations, the pictures you make in your mind, are linked to your state. And they're linked to your physiology. And you put all those together and you get behaviors. So behaviors is like the all-inclusive general term for emotions, pictures, beliefs, anything you know. They're all behaviors. And the thing about behavior is two things. One is every behavior has a positive intention. That's a presupposition, a useful assumption of NLP. And it does. It has your unconscious mind doing something positive for you. So if we can find a better way, your unconscious mind will have to take it on because it wants the best for you. And the other thing is you can change your behavior in a second because they're just behaviors. And if we keep the positive intention and just change the behavior to a behavior that supports that intention and feels bloody good, wow. So that's all we do. That's the basis to me of my working with clients. You come with me and they say to me, have you ever worked with this? I go, yeah, it's a behavior. In my head anyway. Everything is a behavior. Do you want to change the way you feel? Yes, I do. Do you want to change the way you see the world? Yes, I do. Do you want to behave differently? Yes, I do. There you go. All behaviors. Would you like to feel good, feel better, feel comfortable, feel safe? Yes, I would. We'll change that one behavior into that one. We'll change the limiting belief that tried to protect you into a belief that does protect you now. Well, now it's appropriate. And that's it. That is my complete belief around change. All emotional, mental health issues, to me, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I believe it, can be changed. Can they be changed instantaneously? Yes, I believe they can. Do they always change instantaneously? Not always. Because we have to find, to me, the root cause, that positive intention, and get your unconscious mind, your best friend, to change. But it works. Then some people will say, well, okay, Cluffy, got you now. What about illness? Illness. We're getting onto that touchy side now, isn't there? There's a lot of thoughts about that. The old pharmaceutical industry and things like that. But illness, what is illness? It's dis-ease. Dis-ease. And why not? It might not resolve an illness, a disease in its own right, but it make you feel better, make you feel more comfortable, maybe help you to relax, maybe help you to your body to change in a way that makes healing work. But the thing is, if your mind and body aren't working together like that, how the bloody hell does a placebo work? Because people believe they're given a pill, and that pill is nothing but nothing, has nothing in it. And they get bloody better. And half the time, in all these bloody tests, placebos get the same results as the actual blooming thing they're testing. So to me, the placebos are better because they don't have side effects. The only side effects of a placebo is goodness, because it works. Hellfire, there are so many stories of people who have not been given the drugs they thought. They have thought they've misinterpreted. I remember there's a story of a guy who had cancer. Well, the family said, please don't tell him. He doesn't need to know the prognosis, the length of time that he has. Just let him go home. Let him go into his garden. Let him spend whatever days he has in the garden. And the old bugger lasted for years in that garden. And when they said, well, what happened? He said, well, they wouldn't let me out of hospital if I wasn't well enough to leave hospital. A belief. So if your beliefs can change the way you feel and change your dis-ease, how do you change your belief? With hypnosis, with NLP, with timeline therapy. So for me, yes, dis-ease works. And there's also a lot of work going into, I used to be called meta-medicine. I know a lovely guy called Richard Fluke, who's written a book, Why Am I Sick? If you're interested in this, do get that book. He's got a new book, I think, coming out this month. Or it will be out by now, by the time this episode comes out. And it's really interesting how the mind and the body and how a significant emotional event can create dis-ease in the body. And when you resolve that traumatic event, the body changes back to normal or to where it should be. So interesting, a bit controversial sometimes, but it's so interesting. And I've known so many times and worked with people to change this dis-ease. And really, they're curing themselves because it's that belief they have. Anyway, that's another thing that could happen. So we've got smoking, weight loss, all those emotions, all those behaviors, all those negative beliefs, and maybe dis-ease, depending what you think. But hey-ho, I think they should give placebos. Well, you take double strength placebos and you'll get double the result, won't you? Again, and again, I look at some of these things, they have a positive intention behind them. I have worked with people who have had migraines so bad that they're having them all the time, day in, day out. And then they listen to their body, and as if their body is saying, you're working too hard, you didn't listen, you're not stopping. I'm going to put you in bed for 3 days with the curtains closed, the lights off, until you can recuperate. You will stop. And they do. And then we find out we can change the way they behave in the world. And guess what? The migraines disappear. There's a thing called secondary gain, where people don't get better because they're getting all the attention they need. More attention than they get when they're better. So why get better? So again, there's a positive intention of being ill, secondary gain. I'm gaining more by having this illness, this dis-ease, than I would be if I'm well, which is completely wrong because they could have all that attention because they get it on a natural basis. But it needs the unconscious mind to understand what's going on here. And I think so many people ignore that mind-body connection. And they just treat the effect, don't they? You have a pill, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, pills, sometimes people need some medication just to help them in that moment. But then if we can get to deal with the cause, not the effect, we don't want to keep putting plasters over the same thing. We want to heal. So we treat the cause, and then you don't have an effect. Change the one thing that would allow everything to disappear and have what you want. Awesome. So again, we've got smoking, weight loss, all those negatives, maybe bits of illness, maybe bits of secondary gain, because they're just behaviors in my mind. And then what about changing it the other way? Because some people think it's all about negative stuff. And in some ways, we've just talked about changing a negative to a positive, haven't we? So you've got negative beliefs to positive beliefs. We've got negative emotions to positive emotions. We've got negative behaviors to positive behaviors. Now we've got negative like dis-ease in the body to positive feelings in the body. But that's not what hypnosis and hypnotherapy is just about. If you're good at something, you can get better. So you're taking a positive and making it even more better. I love that term, more better, don't you? To get motivated on something that you really enjoy, to become super creative, to, if you're good at something and you want to be better at it, use hypnosis. Well, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a couple of examples. One is I used to do with driving. People used to come to me and say, I'm so anxious about driving. And we work on their anxiety, so changing a negative to a positive. But before they go, in that session of hypnosis, I'd get their unconscious mind to go through all the elements of a driving test. Because I know in their driving practice, they may not have done it 100% every time, but they'll have done it once, say 100%. So I get their unconscious mind to notice each element of the driving test, the ones they did 100% of the time, how they did it, how they felt, and get them to put, as if it were, to put them all together. So it's an imaginary driving test where they do 100%. And with that difference of taking away the anxiety to some, and it's not to confidence, by the way, it's to awareness, being comfortable. That's where they're most safe. If they're being aware of everything and feeling comfortable, they'll make better decisions. And then if they've got those skills inside, put that all together, they pass the test and they feel good about it. I've worked with some MMA guys, mixed martial arts and boxing guys, because for some reason they could do it in the gym and they're bloody good. But when it came to in the ring, maybe they didn't put it all together. Now, some of that can be down to anxiety, could be a little bit of fear, because I'd be scared shitless going into these type of things. I'm a coward when it comes to that bit. They are so brave when they put that on the line. But sometimes there's this thing where they don't really want to hurt somebody. But sometimes that makes them unsafe then, because if they're not using all their skills, they're going to get hurt. So what we do there is, again, notice as a safety, as a positive intention to their unconscious mind. If it wants to keep them safe, if the anxiety is actually detrimental to their safety, because if they're anxious, they're stiff, they're not being flexible, and they're not using all their skills, they're going to get hurt. So what we do is we go through all their trainings where they are super using all their skills and they feel comfortable and they feel good. And we get them to replicate that in the ring because I want them to be safe. So there's that. So we're going from they're bloody good and they're just going to get better. How can they improve their trainings? We can do that. People have done it with like weightlifting and things like where they can get a better personal best because they use all their skills, the right technique. So they're not actually making them stronger. We're making them actually better in their technique, which again is safer because they don't have the right technique, they'll get injured. So it's going from a positive to a positive. And then I get that one, which is, you might think, I don't know if you thought about this yet, but some people say, oh yeah, but you're giving people false hope. You've talked about dis-ease, illness. You've talked about, making these changes. Oh, it's only a behavior. So you're giving people false hope. And I think to myself, okay then, what would you do? Take away hope? If you take away anybody's hope that they can change, what have you done? Because I worked with a depressed lady and she'd been depressed for 15 years and the doctors actually said, that's it. There's no more pills for you. That's it. That to me was taking away her hope of a recovery. She came and worked with me. I think in a way that giving people false hope is when you're saying things which are untrue or you don't believe in. Maybe the belief is wrong. You can believe in something can be completely wrong. But if you can show examples, you have the skills. You've done it before. You can, false hope is I can I can help you to be a bit better, if not completely better, but I can help make things more comfortable. That's giving people hope. So if you take away false hope, I would actually say, and swear it, I'd say, fuck that. We're not doing that. I'm not taking away anybody's hope. All you need, hope is, to me, the will to do whatever it takes. And if you've got the will to do whatever it takes, you will find a way to make things better. And when, hope is, I start to think about how I want to be, how I want to change, what will be the effects of change, how will that change my life? And if I think about that more and more, and I actually get to feel that feeling, feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Talked about this so many times. When I get that, I get to think and I believe in it. Not false belief, but I believe it's possible. I believe I've got the will to do whatever it takes. You get what you think about most of the time, whether you like it or not. So if you're thinking about something most of the time, I believe you'll get it. And Wayne Dyer wrote a lovely book, and it's not 100% right, but his title, I think, was You'll See It When You Believe It. And I think that is always right. But sometimes you see something you didn't believe was possible and you see it, then you believe it again. So you believe it when you do see it. But if you don't see it at all, you won't see it. But when you believe it, it comes to fruition. You have to believe in it. So the question for you is, I guess, what do you want to believe in? What do you want to believe in for you? What changes would you like to believe are possible for you? We're here for personal development, aren't we? I made some notes about this. I have a little side panels on my notebook. One of them is what I want to tell you. What is the nub of this? And I believe, this is what I put, I believe you can change anything. You can change. The extent you change, that's up to you. But you can change. And with the right guidance and finding the right ways, you can change to be the way you want to be. How do I want to feel? That was another one. How do I want you to feel? Well, I want you to feel not only hopeful, keep that hope in there, but I want you to feel motivated to have the will to do whatever it takes, to say to yourself, I'm going to do this. Come on, let's do it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the changes I want to see in me. I want to make the changes I want to see in other people. And why is it important? Why is this little episode important? Obviously, I want you to understand what I believe in hypnosis and the possibility of change. Because it's not just about hypnosis. It's really the core of this is, your ability to change to what you want to be and have. But it's important that we can unlock our imagination and also open those imaginary doors that were closed. We're going to open them. We're going to go through them. And why is this important to me? Because I'm so fucking passionate about making change, using hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy. They're the stuff I know. I don't know any other stuff. Well, I know a little bit of other stuff, put it all together, I learn other stuff. But I'm so passionate about people changing their lives to where they want to be, which is good for the world. I don't want just people to change to be egotistical and all that. I want people to change that it's good for them, it's good for the people around them, and it's good for little old planet Earth. You get all those three together, it's totally ecological. That change is so wonderful. It will inspire other people. That's why I'm passionate about it. And then I thought, we always have a call to action. I'll give you the one call to action, but the first call to action is for you personally, just to take some time now. Get your puzzle book, your journal, just a piece of paper. Just make a little list of the things that you're going to change and how you want to be. That's all you have to do. Start imagining, this is how I want to be. You don't take a lot of time of how you don't want to be, because you just identify that's what I don't want to be. That's what I'm not. I'm not that because this is what I want to be. This is how I want to be in the world. This is the effects it's going to create in my life. These are the wonderful things, the waves and the things that are just going to happen to me. Get that good feeling. And then with that good feeling, you start to look to take action on the things you've got. Now we've got, as I said, loads of hypnosis tracks here. And there's loads of them elsewhere. My son's got hundreds of them too. Joseph Clough. Look at Joseph Clough on, I'll say that again, Joseph Clough. It's not an advert for him. I just thought about this. Look for hypnosis apps. And you find Joseph Clough. He's got loads of them. He's awesome. Look for therapists. Look for the name Clough and you'll find three of us. Luke Clough, Joseph Clough, and me, Paul Clough. But look for other therapists. But more importantly, notice and believe you can change. And then when you believe that, you'll see it. Just like Dr. Wayne Dyer said. Bless him, he's left this earth now, but he was a wonderful, wonderful man. Such a peaceful man. Sharing with no want of return. And this is what this is. So the action, call to action is in two ways. One is for you to notice what you want to change and then start taking that action. Know what you want. Start taking inspired action. Notice you have to be a little bit flexible. You might find, you have to review where you are. And if you review where you are and you're not changing exactly the way you want to be, then you have to be flexible enough to make different changes, take different actions, and then act as if you've got that change already, which is action with the psychology and physiology of excellence. They're the 5 keys to success. I've mentioned this. That's splattered all over these episodes. Take action. And one of the actions you can take, we're coming back to that one, is to share this this podcast. Share it with everyone, if you would. Share it with 2 people. I always say 2 people because everyone's got at least 2 friends. I struggle after 3, but I can share things with 2 friends. And I do. I share my stuff with my sons and some friends, people I see. Do they take notice of it? Most of the time they do, because they're my friends and they know I'm doing it for a good reason. I don't share everything all the time, but if you find, just to give people information that they can work from. So if you would, please share this information, share this podcast, press share on the app you've got, or just send them the link, or just tell them, hey, listen to this guy called Cluffy, Personal Development Unplugged. You can get it on every app. You can get it on every bloody platform. And if you wanted to, this is not a call for action, but it is, if something in here has resonated with you and you want a bit of help with it, or you have another question, please let me know. Email me, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Personal, it's my email, no one else's. And then you'll get a personal reply from me. So that's like 3 calls to action, and I only want to do one bloody one. But hey ho, pick all 3, or pick one out of the 3 and then another one, and then another one. But only pick one call to action, and then another one, and then another one. There you go, my friend. Until next time, we might be a 5-minute quickie that we meet together at, or it might be the longer podcast, or it might be you listening with a friend. Okay. Until the next time, I'm so grateful to have your time with me, listening to me, so we can connect and make a better place in this little old planet Earth of ours. It's time to fly, my friend. Ta-da.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.